If you're a bird lover, you know the dream, a backyard full of beautiful birds flocking to your feeder. But you probably also know the nightmare, a constant, relentless battle with some incredibly acrobatic, furry little thieves. Well, if that sounds familiar, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to break down the art and science of outsmarting those clever squirrels. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You're sitting there enjoying your morning coffee, watching the cardinals and finches, and then bam, a flash of gray fur, a leap that defies physics, and your feeder has been breached. It's a struggle every bird enthusiast faces, but trust me, this is a battle you can win. You know, to win any war, you have to understand your opponent. And make no mistake, when birdseed is on the line, the squirrel is a highly motivated, incredibly skilled adversary. So let's dive into what makes them such a formidable foe. First things first, why are these so obsessed? It's pretty simple, actually. To a squirrel, your bird feeder isn't just a quick snack. Oh no, it's a 5-star, all-you-can-eat buffet packed with the high-fat, high-protein goodies they need to fuel all those wild acrobatics. And they come prepared. Squirrels basically have superpowers that make them the perfect little thieves. I mean, we all know they're amazing acrobats, but did you know they have incredible memories? They can remember your feeder's location for months. Throw in a built-in GPS for sniffing out food sources and a bottomless stomach, and yeah, you've got a real challenge on your hands. So let's put some hard numbers on that athleticism. A squirrel can jump up to 10 feet horizontally. 10 feet! Think about that. That's probably the width of your deck or patio. It's an incredible distance, and it's a critical piece of intel for our defense plan. And it's not just distance, they've got vertical game too. A squirrel can leap 5 feet straight up into the air from a dead stop. This is exactly why just hanging your feeder a little higher often isn't enough. You gotta be way smarter than that. So, knowing what they're capable of, where do we even begin? Well, we start with the single most important strategy in the entire playbook. Seriously, this is the foundation for everything else. If you get this one thing right, you are already halfway to victory. And here it is. Memorize this, the 5-4-8 rule. It is simple, and it is a game changer. First, your feeder has to be at least 5 feet off the ground. That counters their vertical jump. Next, it needs to be at least 4 feet away from any horizontal surface they could launch from, like a fence rail. And finally, you have to make sure it's 8 feet away from any vertical surface they can climb, like a tree trunk or the side of your house. Basically, you're creating a squirrel-proof, no-fly zone around that precious seed. Okay, once our strategic placement is locked in, it's time to talk about gear. The right hardware is your frontline defense, actively protecting the goods from even the most stubborn squirrel. Let's look at some of the best tools for the job. Now here we see two of the most popular solutions, and they work in totally different ways. On the left, you've got weight-activated feeders. This is just brilliant physics. A lightweight bird can land and eat no problem, but the second a heavier squirrel hops on, a little door slams shut over the food ports. Then on the right, you have caged feeders. This is more of a brute force barrier. The cage lets all the little songbirds get in, but it's too small for bigger birds, and more importantly, for squirrels. But the arsenal doesn't stop there. Oh no. There are spinning feeders that literally gently spin squirrels right off. Then you have baffles, these dome or cylinder-shaped things that you put on the pole below the feeder or hang above it. They create a physical wall the squirrel just can't get around. And there are some really great DIY tricks too, like using a wide PVC pipe as your pole. It's just too wide and slippery for them to get a grip to climb. All right, you've got your location dialed in, you've got your gear. Now it's time to get a little clever. Let's talk advanced counter moves. These are the smart, natural tactics that can really tip the scales in your favor and make you the undisputed ruler of your backyard. Okay, here's a fantastic bit of biology you can totally use to your advantage. Birds cannot taste capsaicin. That's the stuff that makes chili peppers hot. But mammals, like squirrels, they absolutely hate it. So you can buy birdseed that's already treated with it, or just mix some cayenne powder into your own seed. It's completely harmless to the birds, but a huge turnoff for the squirrels. You can also plant things squirrels don't like to smell, like marigolds or mint, around the base of your feeder pole. Feeling a little more strategic? Let's talk guerrilla warfare. You can set up a decoy feeder, a super easy-to-reach spot with cheap food they love, like corn or peanuts, to draw their attention away from the good stuff. A motion-activated sprinkler can give them a harmless but very startling blast of water, or you can just be strategic with your timing. Only put out fresh seed during peak bird feeding hours, like early morning and late afternoon. Now for the final, and maybe the most crucial part of this whole strategy, You have to realize this is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. Nope. Winning this thing long-term means you gotta perform a little maintenance, keep an eye on things, and be willing to change up your tactics. So, let's do a quick little check-in. As I go through these common mistakes, take a look at your own setup. Could you be accidentally rolling out the red carpet for the neighborhood squirrels? Let's run through these pitfalls. The absolute #1 mistake is breaking that 5-4-8 rule. After that, it's often the little things, like leaving spilled seed all over the ground, which just attracts them to the area. But honestly, the biggest mistake of all is underestimating your opponent. Squirrels are smart. They learn. If they find a weakness in your defenses, they will exploit it. So you have to be ready to adapt and switch things up. And that right there is the key takeaway. Keeping squirrels out of your bird feeders is an ongoing process. It's a game of chess. It's part science, part strategy, and you know what? Part creative problem solving. But with the right know-how, you can absolutely create that peaceful sanctuary for your birds. So go on, take these strategies, get out there in your own backyard, and enjoy the show. Happy bird feeding, and of course, may the odds be ever in your favor against those furry acrobats.